Lisa Lampanelli is a whole lot of woman. My second favorite female on the show is probably Clay. No, my second favorite female is Diana, because Diana is very special in her own way, and I really love her. You know, you can never be angry at someone who forces you to raise your game, to quote you. You can't be mad, you know. I think if you talk to great athletes, like, take, for instance, Magic Johnson, whose foundation I play for. Magic Johnson absolutely loved and hated Larry Bird for exactly the concept you're speaking of. Clay, what do you think?
I don't think you could say it any better than that. I mean, one of the great things, I mean, Aubrey is freakishly intelligent. Not sorry about the word freakishly, but she really is. She probably is one of the smartest people on the show, and she does. I mean, I think Aubrey and I've even talked since the taping has finished about, you know, how in many ways I think a lot of us, especially me, felt threatened by her because she was just that good. And I think for so many people on the show, we knew from the beginning that she was going to be the toughest competition. We knew from the very beginning that she's the one we had to beat. And so I agree with Arsenio completely that, you know, Aubrey's someone who came day one and planned on winning, and she worked it all the way through. And
here we are.
It really became the person to beat from day one.
Hey, you know who I'd love to work with? Penn Jillette. I mean, I kind of idolize the guy, always have. I was a magician as a kid, so Penn and I had a lot of cool things to talk about throughout our downtime in the van. And I'd love to work with him because he does so much. He gives you so much when it comes to our specific situation.
I really have a great deal of respect for Lisa. She plays the game very well and very toughly, but she is very brilliant.
Oh, Clay, by the way, I would love to work with Paul again, because you never know when you're going to need a motorcycle. You know, so I just want to put that in there. Probably looking and seeing Aubrey's nipples.
Oh my God! He even asked the question to Mr. Trump, and you answered it.
Trump, and second of all, my nipples are not showing. That's a damn conspiracy.
Well, whatever conspiracy Teresa started, I'm about to tag my wagon onto it. My charity is the Magic Johnson Foundation. I've been involved with it for 20 years, almost 21 years. I'm sure everybody knows how I first got involved in it. It was something that Irvin wanted to do when he announced himself HIV positive, and I was on the ground floor of that. So it made this show perfect, because it's something that I really love.
I was a special ed teacher before I went on Idol, and and a lot of the kids who I taught during the school year, and then I ran a summer camp during the summer for the YMCA, and when I'd get there in the summer, a lot of the kids who I taught during the school year were not allowed to come to the summer camp, were not able to come to the summer camp, because summer camps, after-school programs don't necessarily have the resources and the materials and the education and the training for staff in order to work with kids with disabilities, and that frustrated me. So I started the organization that I'm playing for. It's called the National Inclusion Project, and we train extracurricular activities, after-school programs, summer camps, soccer camps, regional activities that don't usually have the ability to include kids with disabilities. We provide them resources and training and whatever they need in order to be an inclusive environment. Because kids with disabilities, they know when they're being left out, and it's not fair to them. And so it's something that is kind of a crossroads of my life before I started being a, you know, quote-unquote celebrity. I get a chance to kind of still have access and still do the types of work that I did before. And so that's why I am playing for the National Inclusion Project. It's really been Quite positive. First of all, I think apparently somewhere along in my life I set a very low standard for myself because everybody seems to be impressed that I can string 3 words into a sentence and 3 sentences into a paragraph. And so I've had a little bit of surprise, but as Mr. Trump was mentioning, it's really kind of surprising to see the number of people who come up to me on the street or out in public now. I've done TV stuff, I've done Broadway, I've done several things since Idol, and not since Idol has there been as much interest in it, in what I'm doing as there has been since this show's been airing. So it reaches a whole bunch of people, and for me, I guess that's a positive thing because before this show, people thought I was stupid, apparently. I guess the question is, have opinions changed? No, I think for the most part we all know that we're going on a show where, we're going to be interviewed and we're going to have people trying to get salacious stuff from us. I think that is part of the game. It's part of the process. I have watched episodes when I just knew someone was going to say something nasty about me. I felt it coming, and when it happens, you just go, Aubrey, you need to shut your mouth, Aubrey. But you realize that it's part of what the show's about, and we all do it at some point.
I think it was much more difficult watching the show than being on the show. I actually had a lot of fun filming the show, and I felt challenged and almost sometimes like it was too easy. I think that the majority of what I learned from Celebrity Apprentice and why I believe that it was put in my life was to learn from actually watching it and be able to find peace or happiness in the things that or the bad things that are said or the struggles of how people interpret things, etc.
We didn't get to step away from anything during the process. We were literally there for 17 hours a day, 6 days a week. I know we got a Sunday off, but I usually slept.
Do laundry.
Yeah, I slept till 3, went to Whole Foods for 30 minutes, and came back and went to bed again on Sundays. We were completely busy. To that, interpreting it another way, what Aubrey says is right. It's a lot harder to watch it because I think when you're on the show and you're doing the tasks, you end up being so deeply invested in what you're doing that you don't have time for all the other stuff. And when I'm sitting at home and watching it, I'm able to get more stressed out about it, even though I find I get more stressed watching it just because even though I know what's happening, just because I think it's the first time that my brain was able to relax enough to really pay attention. And when you're on the show, you're so focused on winning this task, winning this competition, that you don't really get to focus on the stress and the drama. I get home and I realize, holy crap, I don't remember yelling at Diana, but it happened.